We all know that Christmas has two distinct yet interrelated elements. There is the faith element, in which we celebrate the coming of Christ into the world. And then there is the secular element, in which we enjoy things like the story of Santa Claus, the giving and receiving of gifts, the gathering of family and friends, the various Christmas movies that we enjoy watching. They are distinct in that you can have either one without the other, and yet they're related in that the secular traditions have grown up around the religious, but are not religious in and of themselves. When it comes to the secular traditions, we often say it's all about the children. We delight in their excitement and wonder during the season. But is Christmas itself about children? Turns out it is, but not in the way you might think. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas, and this is your daily devotional for Thursday, December 28th, 2023. I do an odd mixing of the sacred and secular during the Christmas season at the church. One Sunday each December, we have a Christmas luncheon at the church, usually on whatever Sunday the children sing in worship, whether during a Christmas pageant or when the children take the place of the chancel choir, as they did this year. The highlight of that luncheon is that when I gather the children around a wing chair, I read a story to them. Only, it's not a religious, faith-based story. No, I read the wonderful poem, The Night Before Christmas, by Clement Clark Moore. Every year when I read that story to the children, I can just hear some of my more uptight colleagues on both the left and the right screaming at me, "How dare you read a non-religious text to the children at a church event?" Actually, no one has ever said that to me directly, but I haven't been in this business for this long without knowing that there are those who take the religious part of the season so seriously that they actively sneer at the religious traditions. I think they've lost what it means to be a child. But I read this story each year for one particular reason. I want to share with the children of the church a tradition we've celebrated in our family for over 30 years, reading the night before Christmas, each Christmas Eve before everyone goes to bed for the night. It touches a deeply sentimental chord in me and in my family that, though it has nothing to do directly with the birth of Jesus Christ, it still has everything to do with Christmas. How do I figure that? Listen to this passage from the Gospel of Matthew, where the disciples ask who the greatest will be in the kingdom of heaven, meaning which of them will be the greatest. Jesus' answer says it all. At that time, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" He called a child, whom he put among them and said, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." Turns out, it's all about the children, the kingdom that is, or should I say, it's about the faith of children. I think what Jesus means here is a couple of things. First, children aren't all that concerned about social rank. Until we begin to teach them and they begin to observe the unwritten rules of social rank, small children just seem content to play with whatever other children they meet. The small child of a king will play as easily with the small child of a pauper as with the child of a duke. It's only later that they begin to see social rank and worry about getting ahead. That's the first and most immediate thing Jesus means. But I think there's something else lurking below the surface here. Small children have a capacity for awe and wonder that we adults have almost lost. It takes something extraordinary to surprise and delight most of us grown-ups. We're a little too jaded, a little too cynical to allow ourselves to see the wonder of things, at least most of the time. So yes, Christmas is about the children, about seeing their surprise and delight, about seeing the wonder in their eyes as they take in the mystery and spectacle of Christmas. But we adults haven't completely lost that capacity. You see, one thing I've noticed over the years as I've read The Night Before Christmas at that annual Christmas luncheon is that the adults in the room become very, very quiet. Quieter even than in church. They strain to hear that story because it brings out the little children in them. Turns out we all have a little child still in all of us. Tomorrow, a banquet. But for now, may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.